That's always the aim with the record, to get it finished and to have it released.
Finishing it is releasing it. The point at which I'm happy to share it is the point at which I finish the music.
There's a ton of tracks that I want to finish.
When you internally feel done.
It's never done. I'm never happy.
Well, the track decides for you. If you're thinking about how to finish a track, the track will tell you.
Today might be a good day. Today, maybe I'll, finish the song, maybe I won't.
A lot of the time you just know.
Or I'll never feel like it's done, and there's always something I could have done different.
Sometimes it just turns out entirely different to what we ever expected.
When there's mistakes and things like that, you have to deal with it.
When I'm working on a song and trying to finish it, a lot of times, unfortunately, I hit roadblocks.
The most important thing for me is to keep moving all the time.
Did we put too many sounds in it? Are there not enough sounds in it?
That is the finishing process. You're throwing everything at it. You're, trying this, you're trying that.
Nothing is ever perfect.
You can listen to it from start to finish and there's nothing you want to change about it. Or the things that are wrong about it adds character to the track you've done.
For me to want to finish a track, it's something has to really stick out.
This process of finishing this record for me wasn't just the music. It was like having an idea for what the vinyl should look like, having some kind of artistic theme and some way of keeping these things together has been part of the finishing process.
Shapes and colors, that is like my main, that's the way I view a lot of things artistically.
I guess it's like painting a picture, really. You start getting your palette of colours out and you mix them and make sure they're all kind of nice and they look good and you're ready to go and paint the picture. The canvas is there and I just start doing something and normally something happens fairly quickly.
You go through your life and experiences and you distill those down into what becomes the art you create.
For me personally, I don't really have a typical process. You might leave it to one side for like weeks, months, even years. I've got stuff I'm pulling up that's like 10 years old and it's like, oh, okay, now I can finish that. It's funny, it's weird how it works, yeah. Sometimes they finish themselves.
I always do a bounce at every stage, so even after the first day I've been writing with someone, I always do a bounce so I can listen to it at home and stuff like that, and it makes me feel like I'm actually moving onwards.
When I'm finished with a song and it sounds good, everything's good to go, usually what I do is I export it as a wave and put it on my phone, and I'll drive in my car and I will only listen to that song. I live about 45 minutes from downtown without traffic, so sometimes when I have to drive there, I have it on repeat. By the end of the trip, I'm like, oh my God, I can't listen to the song anymore,
That's kind of the ritual of just listening to the music in the car, driving through the city.
It sounds cheesy, but the whole saying of it's the journey, not the goal. With finishing something, there's an element of closure. Also, it doesn't belong to you anymore. You're putting it out into the world, so it's healthy just to kind of walk away from it and be like, okay, that's for you guys.
I don't want to go, a few years later and be like, oh, I probably could have done that a little bit better. So I think just that feeling, and you feel it when it's done.
I can't go back and change the way that it was made and change the way people can perceive it.
There can be several things that give me the whip to finish it, really. One can be a deadline. It might be that I'm producing something for someone else, so the record label are very interested to see it as finished as possible. The other might be just more natural if I've done something myself. I just have a feeling that it's really great and I want to finish it.
It's wonderful when you have a deadline.
If you don't have the deadlines and if you miss the deadlines, then everything knocks on.
Really making it important to focus on what needs to be done. You really need to dedicate the time in order to complete things, in order to get better.
Yeah, and there's times when friends will hear clips of music and they'll be like, why aren't you doing anything with this, you know?
But I can't seem to finish those tracks. Maybe it's just that they're not speaking to me at that moment or something like that. Or maybe it's just really it's not that good and you're not feeling it. Maybe you should just move on.
Yeah, you do feel vulnerable. The last bit can be the hardest bit.
Creatively, I was kind of ready to it exploded basically. It just clicked. And I was like, I just finished an album. But it was a very sudden realization that it was done.
The answer is there is no answer.
Inspiration for me just kind of comes and goes as it pleases.
When we talk about finishing, on a deeper level, all of this, everything is transient. Everything has an end. So all of this stuff, this equipment, this body, this room, eventually will be dust. And so it's about legacy, what you leave behind. It'd be nice to be remembered, maybe.